Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Ashley, an astrologer and oracle card reader. Today I'm going to do a reading for you, an oracle card reading for the full moon in Gemini. Okay, so let's first talk about this full moon. Okay, it's a full moon in Gemini at 12 degrees, which is a Pisces degree, which we'll come back to. But first, full moons are this point in time when we're ending something, things are metaphorically dying, shutting off, we're moving on to a next phase, we have passed illumination and reached clarity. Okay, so we're getting clarity possibly at this time around things are being illuminated, we're learning things, how to best move forward. Okay, and with it being at the 12th degree, a Pisces degree, which rules over the 12th and endings and shedding and kind of dying off, right? Metaphorical and otherwise, then I really see, some phase or something coming to an end for us. You can see where this transit's happening in your chart to get more clarity on that, right? So more about Gemini, it's a Mercury-ruled sign, right? So quick, mischievous, the trickster, the chatty one, right? Very communicative. Gemini's can typically, light, bright side of Gemini, if there's not opposing things in the chart, can make friends easily and adapt to new situations, and they rule over the third house and local travel and our extended family and cousins. Some Geminis can manifest with this split or double personality, right? But it doesn't always have to mean it's a negative thing, okay? Gemini is typically smart, intellectual, right? Air sign, loves to learn, teach, they're opinionated, bright side of them, a positive, healthy Gemini wants to hear your opinion too, okay? Learn new things from you, bounce things off you, right? They're always looking for someone to bounce something off of, okay? So we might see these areas of life highlighted. We might get something communicated to us that brings us clarity. We might communicate to someone else, okay, to bring clarity. So the other interesting things about this full moon that are going to affect it are the aspects, okay? So this full moon in Gemini is sextile, okay, Chiron in Sagittarius. No, Aries. So that to me is pretty interesting. Now, when we're talking about a sextile, we're talking about the potential, okay, sextiles have to be helped along, so we have to kind of do the work, but the potential for healing a wound, okay? You can see where Chiron is transiting your chart, all right? So it's in Aries, so wherever Aries is going to be, the area of life that you're working through this wound. So you might be receiving clarity on a wound, right? And also, like I said, the sextile is about moving into a new level of healing. Like you're upgrading, you're moving into a new area of healing. Might be uncomfortable. Chiron's never really comfortable. Chiron's the wounded healer. He could heal everybody else. Got shot with a poison arrow, couldn't heal himself, went eternity wounded in this way. So it's our eternal wound. But it doesn't have to be this terribly negative thing. It can be where we're always learning and growing and expanding, okay? And with the sextile, it really means that we are. So there's like this new level of healing. So I see this as a positive thing, but can be uncomfortable, right? A lot of astrologers I'm seeing online and things written about this full moon in Gemini is that it's maybe a little uncomfortable and there's some aggression with it, and we'll talk about that because Mars is involved. But also I see lots of potential for healing. Now again, it's a full moon in Gemini at a 12th degree, so a Pisces degree. So Pisces is ultimate potential for healing. Pisces, rules over the 12th house, which is where we can retreat to heal, and it actually rules over some people believe it rules over actual, mental institutions, places you can go to heal, right? I don't like to necessarily call them that, and there's things that are much better these days than what we've had in the past. But yeah, so it can be really a positive thing. I'm kind of even hearing the word like breakthrough for some people come through. Okay, so we also have this full moon in Gemini. It's opposing the sun. So in Sagittarius, which is Gemini's opposite sign. Okay, Gemini is fact-based. Sagittarius is faith and intuition-based. So they don't really do things the same way. And when they're opposing each other, that means they're working with their opposing energies. They're not really trying to work together. And they're not. So trying to do things differently, okay? And maybe it has to do with, healing a wound, healing something, and it's like the sun wants to do it the faith-based way, and the moon wants to do it the fact-based way, and unless you're a moon in Gemini, like me, maybe you're not comfortable doing that way. And look, I also have my sun in Cancer, so it depends on your chart, so I also am connected to my emotions, but learning things, okay, especially like self-assessment things, which I think a lot of moon in Geminis, natal moon in Geminis appreciate and like, feel nourishing, okay, and kind of lead me to have faith. So it's kind of that interesting dichotomy with the Sagittarius and Gemini, okay? But during this time, not working well together, not comfortable, and then we have this full moon in Gemini conjunct Mars in Gemini, and Mars is retrograde. So, when it's retrograde, it's not always like functioning at its total best or functioning the way that we're used to it. So not a lot of action with Mars, okay? Sometimes we lose sight of our emotions, control of our emotions, and that aggression comes out. So that's kind of what the other astrologers, I feel like, we're talking about with this conjunction. And then the sun is opposing Mars too. So, there might be some aggression and anger that comes up as you're healing these Chiron wounds. Maybe there's someone to blame, and there's sometimes, typically there is someone to blame for our trauma, right? So we might be seeing that come up. But like I said, with that sextile, I really see that we're reaching new levels of healing, and it's going to be, it's going to be, we're going to feel a different way after it feels like, okay? But a little bit of uncomfortable, maybe aggressive energy here around this full moon, okay? I would probably try to take it easy, not pick fights, stay away from people or things you think might cause aggression or fights. I don't know why I kind of want to say this feels a little eclipsey, like mini eclipsey, so I would kind of treat it like an eclipse and really just try to take it easy. Watch your communication, right? How you're communicating with Mars and Mercury together. It's kind of like, especially on Mars retrograde, the communication can be like forceful and aggressive, and so watch, that for you and all your peeps, people around you, just shuffling cards, and then we are going to get into the reading. Okay. So this is going to be a reading for the elements. All right, so we are going to start with the air signs, okay? Since this is a full moon in Gemini, air signs, what is your manifestation number? And for air signs, you might be more affected by this full moon, especially Gemini, or if you're a sun, moon, rising. Wow, we just talked all about healing and how this full moon is really going to touch on some Chiron issues. So really interesting that this came up. I see the air signs, yeah, really kind of tapping into that energy of the conjunction with Chiron, and really seeing this full moon as potential for healing, okay? And healing what for you specifically, let's get into with the astrology cards, okay? Seventh house, okay, so healing relationship issues, okay? Maybe healing things having to do with business partnerships, all right? So lots of healing, maybe lots of healing conversations. Air signs typically, you know, depending on the rest of the chart, of course, but really do like to communicate, right? So maybe lots of communication as part of your healing. Okay, you also got Arakira, blossoming. You are just getting started, so have patience with yourself in the process and do not give up. Yeah, so healing is really a process. I also kind of feel like this is self-healing too. Like anytime we're doing any healing, even if it's relationship healing, like it's self-healing too. And it really feels like, I keep hearing like 12th house. I know you got 7th house, but like 12th house, Pisces, like mental, emotional healing, which can be uncomfortable for air signs because you're more like fact-based, right? You also got Buffalo. You were provided for in all ways, okay? So I feel like this kind of is telling me that there's some slight anxiety coming up about like, yeah, just not being sure that the things you have are always going to be there, is what I'm hearing. Okay, air signs. So, healing, it feels like, yeah, relationship healing. With it being in Gemini, I do feel like maybe even a couples therapy, okay? You've got guardian angel, you are not alone. So I feel like maybe this pile, people in this pile have been contacting their ancestors a lot. And they want you to know they hear you, they're listening. And there might be some like inherited wounds around romance and relationships in this pile, right? And what do I mean by that? You know, like a father or grandfather wasn't a good partner, right? Didn't treat his wife well, and some of those stories kind of play out again through us. You also got Dove, Spirit, Be Peace, okay? This tells me that maybe there's some like yoga or meditative practice that you would feel called to, and that you're being called to kind of get in touch with again. And I also feel like the feather and then the dove too are telling me that it's really validating like this pile is like air signs, this too for some reason, but also you might be seeing white feathers. You might receive white feathers from your ancestors to let you know that they're there, that they hear you. Okay. Okay, we got a few angel tarot. So we got 3 of air, great sadness, take time to heal, the need to forgive yourself and others. Okay, so yeah, healing. Really making time for it, okay? We're in a quiet season here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's cold and snowy where I am, and we're really being called to go within and, you know, spend time healing. This is a perfect time for it. So whatever you're feeling called to, I really feel like some sort of talk therapy or talking. And there feels like, yeah, there could be hurt between a partnership, romantic or otherwise, that came up that you need support from and to heal from. And, you know, you need this support. You deserve this support. Maybe you're not at a place of forgiveness right now, and you don't have to be. If you are working, you know, if that does resonate with you, maybe what you're working on is forgiveness, okay? You also got 7 of air, plans that need revision, more going on that meets the eye, poor timing. Okay, so that tells me that you're really trying to like push something forward. We have Mars retrograde in Gemini, so it's really hard to take action right now for some of us, okay? Especially some of those Gemini placed people. I'm trying to see when Mars retrograde ends. Okay, so January 12th. Okay, so not too far away, and it doesn't mean you can't try to move anything forward or push anything through or do anything, but when we have retrogrades, it's like learning to be okay with plans going awry. Like that's one of, and this kind of feels like a Mars retrograde feels like Mercury retrograde, because Mars is about action, and sometimes we can't take action with our communications and things like that, right? So maybe you're feeling like you want to have a conversation with this person, but like it's not happening. And I'm not saying you have to wait till January until it's over, but maybe this just gives you some validation about why it's been frustrating, okay? And look to where Gemini is in your chart. You also got Knight of Earth, loyal, dedicated, honorable, kind. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. A guardian angel. So again, ancestors, guardian angels coming through loudly. And I feel like it's like, we're here to help you. I'm also hearing like, you air signs might be really interested in like learning more about your ancestors, talking to them, learning about your heritage. Maybe you want an ancestral reading. I do those. I do inherited condition chart readings where I, discover things about your ancestors in your birth chart from reading the birth chart. So that could be really interesting for you, or you could just dive into your DNA, things like that. There's this, feels like you're calling to them and they're calling to you, and there's like, they want to make that connection, sage, purification. Okay, so you're being called to purify your space. You don't have to use sage if it doesn't resonate with you. You can use cedar or pine or whatever. Ancestors and guides and spirit guardians and all those people are saying that that is another great way for you to connect with them, okay, is through using sage, purifying with sage. It also feels like just your space and you, I don't want to say the people in your life, but yeah, kind of like the people in your home, could maybe use some energetic clearing, some energy clearing, salt water baths, just regular daily clearing, getting it from somebody else. And I just keep smelling the sage, like I can just smell it, like maybe like essential oils too. There's something about scent for the people in this pile that feels like really healing. So maybe calling that in, maybe growing sage. It might not be the growing season for you. It certainly isn't where I am, but just like bringing sage into your life and into your diet also feels like it's being called upon for me to say too. These are new cards, so I kind of look in the book for this one too. 34. Yeah, okay, so this can be a call that you're, you want to, you need to, you're already purging and clearing negativity, okay? And this is a great way to purify your space and yourself. Daily walking, meditating, a spiritual practice, whatever helps you to clear the negativity. And I do think that it was from like a bad business partnership, romantic relationship, whatever, and this is going to help you like move this along. Or it could just have been a bad period in your relationship, and now you're moving, you're both moving on. Maybe you could both bring in sage. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, so you also got the fox. Okay, fox is really known as like the mystic, right? The wise teacher. Okay, And it's really a call for you to like reconnect to the people you love. Okay, so maybe it is, that's really interesting because we were talking about like, not necessarily relationships ending. I mean, it could be, it felt like some of that, but also moving through a phase. Okay, so like I think a lot of you too like are moving through a phase, and you're, you know, then you know, are being called to reconnect on a level that you guys typically do. Or maybe you are leaving a relationship and reconnecting with family that you haven't seen in a while, right? But the Fox is really all about like partnership and connection. So really interesting that the 7th house came up. So very much the vibe for this is you're healing your relationships, okay? And that it's okay to need and want connection and to want to heal things with people, right? Is there any other card? How about a self-care? Have we even pulled one of these? An ancestor card? We have. Mineral solidness, yes. So you're really, I feel like this pile is wanting to really connect with becoming more solid partners, right? Maybe a more solid business or a more solid relationship, more solid love, more committed. How can you become more committed and be more solid together? Recommit, right? If that's what you choose to do, because maybe you're healing a relationship by ending it. Okay, we are talking about the full moon, so. Oh my gosh, this is so great. Aromatherapy, we were just talking about this with the sage. Yes, so I feel like this pile is very scent-based, would do really well. And then we also got burning bowl ritual. Love this. Okay, so especially because it's a full moon in Gemini, so writing things down that you want to end, to release from past relationships that you don't want to bring forward, that is an awesome way to do it. Okay. Little selenite cleanse, air element, Gemini. I almost started reading the mutables. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. That was for you. Moving on to the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. I don't know why I said it like that. Capricorn. What's your numerology card? What is coming up for you? What are you doing? 2? Should we take 2? Okay. Okay. At first it was like a no, and then it was a yes. You got 13 effort. You also got 99 compassion. Compassion takes effort. Understanding feelings takes effort. Okay? Earth signs. It's not that you're not compassionate. I think earth signs can be very compassionate, but it might take you some more effort during this full moon in Gemini to be compassionate and understanding. Okay? You got Cordelia, go outside. You have been indoors too long. Go outside and get some fresh air. Yeah. So I feel like a trip is coming. Look at this like beautiful Cordelia. Okay? She rules over spring, so if you can't take a trip now, I think one in spring. Yeah, it feels like this stuffed up, too much work, which makes sense for you earth signs, like too much work, too much caretaking others. You need to get out. And you need to make the effort to have compassion for yourself, is what I'm hearing. Okay, earth signs. I also want to say that mutable signs, okay, so Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces can also be feeling this. So Virgo, you might feel this full moon even stronger, okay? You got crystal quartz focus, okay? So focus, put focus and effort into having compassion for yourself is what I just keep hearing come up over and over. It seems like I'm feeling like a slow down, a calm down. I'm seeing like an exhale out in nature, okay? Maybe it's not like warm enough to be out in nature, but you can walk for 5-10 minutes maybe. You got parrot spirit, watch your words. Yeah, have compassion in your words. I feel like this compassion is not just about you, it's about having compassion for others. This Mars retrograde in Gemini conjunct full moon in Gemini is like, you know, nasty communication, aggressive communication, angry communication, not like the best, most awesome vibes. Okay, so, and it's easy. It's like a Mercury retrograde, right? Mars retrograde in Gemini. So again, you know, but with the passion to go with it and the aggression and the anger, right? And so we want to, for all of us, we want to watch what we want to say, but especially earth signs, because that's what you're getting in this reading. And just because I think, like, it's not that you don't think before you talk, that's more of like a fire sign thing, but you just might be losing your patience with people, I feel like. Okay. You also got waning crescent, so really signifying that this full moon is an ending for you. And maybe it's this ending in a phase of you lacking compassion. Okay. This is the balsamic phase, right? So it's the final step in the cycle. So it's rest, recuperation. Yeah, that's kind of what I was seeing. And then you got Taurus. So focusing on resting with some aspect of nature, of self-care, maybe possibly treating yourself. Okay? I think this might be a treat yourself full moon for the earth elements. They feel like tired and overworked, and we always want to rest with full moons, and you're being called extra to it. You also got Raven magic, own your power. Yeah, it feels like some of you have lost your power to other people because all this wonderful, hard-working effort and like mentality that you have feels like it's been elsewhere. Feels like it's been exported is not the word I want to use. It's not been internalized. You've been giving it toward other people, and it doesn't feel like things that you enjoyed. Okay, you got tree balance. So really, yeah, balancing that time that you're giving other people, okay, between the time that you're giving yourself. Really feels like present. Let's look into the Angel Tarot deck for you. Let's see what is coming up. But yeah, so it feels like compassion for self, rest. You guys are tired, but there is also like, you're not tired because you're focusing on your own stuff. You're tired because you're focusing on other people's stuff. You got Chariot, Archangel Metatron, so an important achievement, self-discipline, willpower, public recognition. Yeah, so I feel like when you can refocus yourself on your own efforts, refocus, and you might want to get a crystal quartz. Feel like crystal quartz is very meditative or healing for you. Earth elements. Yeah, you're moving toward a place where things are gonna go well for you when you can again self-discipline, refocus yourself into the direction that you were prior to getting involved in other people's stuff. I don't know. Again, I don't really know why that keeps coming up. Okay. What else for this full moon in Gemini? Earth elements. Okay, you got Two of Air, being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there is no problem. Yeah, so there's definitely like some disagreement, I feel like, between someone else, and you really need to like just get at the problem, right? Just handle it, okay? You have to, you know, take the effort, make the effort, balance, okay, before you can, yeah, it feels like there's something going on with someone else that needs to be handled before you can refocus on yourself, okay? And this decision feels like a decision between you putting energy into someone else or putting energy into yourself. And you're pretending there's no problem. Like, it's obviously a problem, and the problem is boundaries. You also got Ace of Fire, an exciting new opportunity, career advancement. Change your life now. So the change your life now is like really work on those boundaries. Really work on those boundaries. Because like I said before, it's like this is kind of something that's standing in the way of your success and your next step. It's not you don't have it wrong. It's not that you don't have the opportunities. It's not that you don't have a plan. It's not that you don't have a direction. It's that there's like a disagreement or something. Okay. Is there anything else we want to pull? Ancestor cards. See what the ancestors have to say. They did already say one thing. They said balance, so finding balance between give and take. What you're giving other people, what you're giving yourself, what they're giving you too. You also got Stag, trust and thrive. So to me, that's really like trust in no longer being this continuous support for other people constantly at the detriment of your own success. You gotta trust that by putting more energy into yourself, it's really the best plan. It's the best what do I want to say? That it's what's best for you. Kind of feel like there's generators in this group too. Like you're trying to fit yourself in a box that doesn't fit too, right? It's an uncomfortable thing for you to have to, for some reason. There's something about, taking care of this person, supporting this person, doing something for this person that's just not fitting with like who you are or your personality. And it just feels like it's exhausting you. It's taking a lot from you. Rice nourishment. Okay, so you need to refocus, direct your focus on self-nourishment. I'm also going to read from the book a little because are you nourishing yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually? Like checking what you eat, what you want. Okay, so there's also kind of like this, not cleansing, this call to cleanse, but this call to just check on what you're bringing in, what you're reading, listening to, talking about, thinking about, and how this other like person or group or problem disagreement is kind of affecting your self-nourishment. Okay. Self-care cards, following your intuition. Okay, so getting quiet, maybe journaling to the prompt. What does my intuition want to tell me? It's a cute one. You also got look for fairies. Okay, so like I was seeing you all like taking a walk in the forest earlier, so the look for fairies is like, if that resonates with you, look for it. But to me, it also means like look for the things that aren't there. Look for the things that you never really knew were there until you really focused, right? Like go out with the mind of a child, okay? You might be really interested in some crystal quartz healing, taking a trip now or in the spring. Okay, tapping into your intuition, listening to yourself on how to move forward, remembering to nourish yourself, trusting that balance is the key between you and this person in this situation. Okay, you have a lot of exciting opportunities coming at you. Like I know you're very career-based probably, least you're focused on this thing you want to do, and definitely get back to a place of owning your power. But it feels like really what's going to help is if you nourish yourself, lavish yourself, take care of yourself, okay? Let all old habits die off, not get into it with people, okay? And really make, like, really, you know, making that effort toward compassion for yourself and other people. All right, earth elements, that was your reading. Fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you're up. What is your numerology card? And don't forget, Sagittarius is an unusual sign, so you might also be feeling this full moon in Gemini a little bit more than the average Joe. Moderation. Ha ha ha. Telling the fire signs to moderate is pretty hilarious. That's pretty hilarious. So this full moon in Gemini might really have you looking at where and how you can moderate, what you can moderate, right? Everything in moderation is key, they say. It feels like there's like some overboard. There's some leaning on, I don't want to say like maladaptive things, but like, where can you bring moderation into your life? Where can you slow down? Now, I know you fire signs don't like to slow down, but we're in that season. You know, yes, celebrating and maybe more vacation and holidays and things like that. But there's something, yeah, that feels like you're going overboard with. And I feel like, yeah, fire signs, I'm an Aries rising, so I can say this, like, we're kind of, where are we replacing, like, true self-healing with moving into, like, intensity? Because that's not truly healing for us, okay? Aries, we also got the asteroid, which is called the Destroyer and can represent like angry and jealous feelings, okay? So also anger and like bitterness. Okay, so it feels like, yeah, the fire signs kind of have like a burning fire within. And yes, I'm hearing like moderation, but I'm also hearing like new ways of getting this out, of this fire energy out, okay? And it's not going to help you to moderate until you're getting this like ball of fire energy expended in your life, you know? Like you need, have you lost sight of your passion? Have you lost sight of like your physical exercise and getting out? Have you lost sight of like, yeah, the physical things, not just the physical things that bring you joy, but the things that really expend your energy in like a very nourishing way. Does that make sense? I don't know. I hope so. You also got last quarter moon, okay? And this is like a declining moon, all right? So sometimes there's like anxiety because we're realizing, okay, the weather's shifting, things are changing, like things aren't what they were, things are going away, and we have this, yeah, anxiety about, are they going to come back? Is this season going to be as promising as the next? Okay, so a moon in Gemini too is no stranger to anxiety. I'm a natal moon in Gemini, and it's just like one of the more prone signs in my opinion, because you're just thinking, right? You also got antelope decisiveness, make a decision and take appropriate action. Okay, so maybe this anxiety is about how you are going to move forward. Okay, full moons are about endings, and then we're moving into a new beginning. So you got to make this decision before moving on. And then you got Beaver, just go ahead and do it. Go ahead and make the decision, go ahead and get productive, go ahead and get realigned with these passions is what I'm hearing. There feels like a loss of connection to moving your body, you know, your passion for tennis, which is also like moving your body, but something. Okay, we got Page of Fire, outgoing, creative, confident, mischievous, news of an exciting new endeavor, use your originality and ingenuity. I love this for this pile, okay? So, yeah, like, feels like this pile, okay, fire elements with this full moon in Gemini, maybe you're getting that, someone, you know, sparks coming again. You're getting reignited, recommitted to, reconnected and associated with these passions and dreams. You also got Two of Water, a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, the positive resolution of conflict. Okay, great. We were talking about conflict earlier, jealousy, anger, okay, bitterness. So that feels like it's in the future. Six of Fire, victory, good news is on its way. Public recognition or awards. Okay, I'm talking about this passion. Knight of Air, intelligent, decisive, idealistic, tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options, and there's also going to be some creative solutions. Okay, so yeah, I think that once Mars ends retrograde, the fire element's going to be moving fast, especially, you know, like Aries rising and Aries placement people. Okay, there's feels like, yes, we also got Maeve, cycles and rhythms, so honoring that energy and emotions and levels of your body, right? Like when you need to move. It feels like a lot of these fire element people in this pile, like, yeah, haven't moved, and you know, just as I say that, Venus is getting up and stretching. Wonderful, right? So it just feels like a stagnancy in this pile that's getting moved along with this full moon in Gemini. We got 64, wasp spirit. Sometimes life stings. Oh gosh, that is, I don't think I've ever seen that card, okay? So life feels like it's been stinging you, okay? And it's kind of just like, these are the ancestors that are like, yeah, life stings sometimes. Like, what, you know, how are you going to move forward? How are you going to handle it? How are you going to express your anger that isn't directly, you know, towards someone in a negative way? Sorry, I just wanted to see what we were looking at already. So yeah, it feels like there's a situation of anger and aggression that's happening on or around the full moon, of you just been like holding this resentment, and part of it is, yeah, you're lacking movement, you're lacking commitment to your passions. Like, get recommitted, redirect your focus into something else is what I hear. Like, you're just like off kilter, I think, fire signs. You feel off kilter, you feel out of alignment, and that's when you kind of start, you know, like the jealousy and the anger and the stuff comes up, and it's perfectly normal to be, but like, look at what you're jealous at and be like, okay, what can I do or invent? And it doesn't have to be like, oh, similar, but like, how can I use your ingenuity, right? Like, this came out as a reminder from your ancestors. It's an ancestor card that, yeah, like, you're creative, and like, put all of this energy into creative pursuits. Like, what are you, I don't like saying stuff like this, but they're saying, like, what are you doing? Like, you know better than this. Like, you have such a fiery spirit, and you're so smart, and you have so many passions and so many ideas, and like, you're directing them in the wrong place, like, with this jealousy and anger. But I also hear that it's coming up for you, and it does often for the fire signs, as a way to redirect you to your passion. Like, if you don't know what you're passionate about, like, whatever you're jealous about, you're passionate about. That's what they're saying. Like, jealous in other people. So follow that. Make a list. If you're like looking at other people's accounts, like, stop yourself, go to your notes, make a list. That's what I do. I'm an Aries rising, so I got that jealousy. And oftentimes, like, I think that's really the universe or spirit's way of saying, like, here, go this way, okay? You are a genius. You have ideas. You can invent things. You have that within you. Like, redirect this. You also got Wolf, okay? Wolf is, you know, the family guardian. this also speaks to stubbornness, I feel like, in believing like everyone should be like you, or like what you like, or do what you do, or believe what you believe. And not everybody's gonna love your inventions and what you have to offer. And also, so what? Like, find the people who do. Be okay with everybody being different. And that's kind of a side note, but mostly I'm hearing like, let go. It's okay to let go of this jealousy. You can let go of this jealousy. Okay. Did we pull anybody? Now I gotta look back through all these cards. But yeah, and there's also this real like protective energy. Like, you might be reconnected to your people and you feel really protective of them. Yeah, and everything in moderation. Anger in moderation, passion in moderation. Maybe not passion in moderation. It's okay to go total full force. You've got jasmine, sensuality. Yeah, again, this is another way that you can redirect your passion. Like, get sensual. Okay. Yeah, it feels like an unmet need. Doesn't mean you have to be with somebody else, but it just feels like an unmet need, and you're being asked to like incorporate sensual pleasure, right? And in the book it's saying that it's like an expression of your spirituality, right? It's also a form of self-care, and this reading for the fire elements just really feels like this whole thing of like redirecting. Okay, and the ancestors are saying like taking things in moderation and redirecting you to things that are helpful for you and nourishing for you, and you know what I mean? Okay, self-care cards. Yeah, because it feels like this anger, this everything, like there's a solution to it. It's okay to feel it. You're allowed to be angry. I feel like fire signs don't hear that enough. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to be scared. You're allowed to be sad. And yes, build strength. Another thing you might really need, we've been talking about this, is to build strength, physical action. Yes, connect with that earth. Were we saying that earlier? No, maybe that was a different pile. Ha! But yes, connect with the earth, please. Lay on it. Connect with it. It just feels like to this pile needs or may feel called toward like, yeah, being held. And there's no better thing to hold us when, I mean, sure, if we have people to hold us, but sometimes that's not realistic. But the earth can always hold us in a really beautiful and nourishing way. Okay? I'm also seeing you like going out and screaming in the forest. Which is great. Okay? So, easy on you, easy on yourself, allowing your emotions, fire elements. We love you. It's okay if you're angry. For you, I think it's going to be about, learning to express your anger. Okay, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. What is your numerology card or cards? Individuality and adventure, yay! And 5 is the number of big change. Okay, at least for me, maybe not with this deck. So yeah, I feel like this full moon in Gemini is going to open the door for adventure, maybe a solo adventure. It could be like an adventure of the mind. It doesn't have to be a physical one, but it might like start the planning of one, right? You also got seeking quiet time. Take some quiet time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. Okay, so definitely a thing that we do with the full moon anyway, but the water signs, you, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, you're really being called to do this, and it might be like a solo retreat I see you going to. solo time, somewhere alone, and if you can't get away alone for a while, maybe it's just like an hour, but whatever it is, it's going to be powerful, it's going to bring big change, it's going to show you that you can solo adventure, spend time alone. You also got seal, imagination, immerse yourself in artistic and creative expression. Yeah, it almost kind of felt like a artistic healing retreat adventure that's kind of calling. I feel like you are the seal, like sitting on the beach like that, just looking out into the water. And I feel like it's going to spark some clarity around something that you have been looking for clarity around, okay? You got the High Priestess. Listen to your intuition, have patience. Consider carefully what you want before acting. Yeah, so this, yeah, I see this whole thing as like a quiet retreat. Could be vacation or not, just some other time of you thinking about planning for the future and this big change that's coming for you in the future, if that makes sense. Let's do another animal card. Yeah, I'm excited for you guys. It feels like something is shifting, and it feels like your life is always an adventure, and it's continuing to be one, and this full moon in Gemini does feel like it's sparking something exciting. You also got kangaroo, gratitude, be grateful for all you are blessed with. And I kind of see that as like you've been grateful, you've held gratitude, you've made gratitude less in the past, and maybe still do, and like it's coming your way. You seem to be in a real receiving place in life. Coyote, wise fools, accept your follies and find the teaching in them. I feel like you have. So it's like you're grateful for all you have, and you see the things, the pains, yeah. And you know, if you have a lot of water element in your chart, if you have heavy Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, you've likely been through it. Like that's just kind of a this lifetime manifestation thing for the water elements. It doesn't mean we're going to look at a kid's chart and see that they have that. That means they're going to go through it. We don't do that. But if you're older and you resonate with that, having been through it with heavy placements, and been through it too, just means like your life is about learning to work through emotions, deal with emotions. Maybe you've had bouts of depression. Okay. Yeah, I see you guys going near the water, totally, and you are water signs, and I really feel like you need water in your life, okay, and you're going to be, like, traveling to it, going to it. This full moon in Gemini is going to, like, open you up to big change near water, I feel like, is another thing that's coming through, and, like, getting reconnected with water, getting water back in your life. Maybe you'll go to a hot springs, an ocean, a lake, purify yourself with water. And you also got mountains, stand your ground. Really interesting because, yeah, I was seeing like the mountains in this too. So it's like also you're being called on, and maybe you'll just gain some natural balance between this earth energy and this water energy, okay? I feel like this stand your ground is coming in because it's like what you're getting clarity on and receiving and learning in this quiet time and space that you're going to be taking away or wherever. You know, you may come back and have thoughts or experience something that other people don't understand or they don't want to hear about, or they're just not ready for this new you, and you really want to be firm in who you are. Okay. You also got Buffalo Spirit, the abundant universe will provide. Beautiful. You also got Rhino Spirit, overcome any obstacle. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so I really feel like for you water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, like you're really, really moved through like a rough patch, and you're coming back. You're coming back. Fighting spirit. You're overcoming a dark time, and there's been some worry about, you know, finances that have maybe been a little bit too fluid, and I feel like you're moving past this. You're always provided for. The universe is happy to provide for you. Get reconnected with the, you know, relationship with money. Get in good spirit with money. Talk to money, write to money, sing to money. Be grateful for every penny that you find. You know, there's like this real ask that you love money and that you drop any energy around it being icky or bad or anything. Okay, you also got Cancer. Yeah, so I'm hearing like nourish yourself, mother yourself, love for yourself, care for yourself, provide for yourself, cook for yourself. There also might be a real connection to a mother energy, mother spirit. You might be feeling your mother's energy and spirit. You might be having a conversation with her. Remember, Mars is retrograde, so maybe it's an unpleasant conversation. We have that conjunction with Chiron, so we might be doing some deep healing around mother energy stuff. Man, I know I resonate with this. Okay. We also got Mars, so yeah, it might be like, there might be some angry, aggressive feelings between you and a mother energy that you're working through. I'm also hearing like this full moon in Gemini might highlight passions around Cancer things, so things associated to the home and mothering and caretaking, nourishing, the womb, breasts. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I felt called to say the different parts of the body. There's some like maybe taking action on things around the house, doing things around the house, homemaking. Okay, that's another possibility. But you also got solar eclipse. So solar eclipse is usually like a warning. Okay, so a warning that I feel like the first thing that's coming through, and kind of the only thing, is like a warning that you might be carrying some anger and resentment toward a mother figure, okay? Or that there's still things to work out. There's still healing to do, okay? And that might be what comes up for you in this retreat space, wherever you're going, or I kind of like felt and saw you, like I said, going to a retreat space. Wait, did we do these yet? Yeah, so mother wounds. I feel like mother wound is coming up, mother stuff for healing, or maybe like there's going to be some aggressive conversation or communication via the mother's lineage. Okay. Interesting. You also got river flow, so more call to be near water, and flow with these energies, flow with whatever happens. If there is something like this warning that came up with the mother energy, and there is like an actual person that like comes to you, whether it's your mom or like, I don't know, your aunt. I don't know why this is coming up, but that's kind of how it feels. But you're just flowing with it. Remember to flow with this energy, to let things go. And I'm going to look in the book because this is a new deck. Thank you for burping on my video. Maybe you didn't hear that, but I did. Okay, so yeah, like you're really being called to be into the flow, take responsibility, have good intention when, you know, if and when this comes about. You also got cave initiation. So yeah, this is like you coming out of the cage. It's an initiation because you worked through your demons and things. And so this also could be something that's over and done with. Maybe you have worked through this mother wound demon, or you've been doing this work and, should I say mother wound demon? I did not mean to say all of that together, but whatever. Yeah, you've met the darker forces and you're kind of like coming out of this cave time in your life where you're re-emerging like a new healed person. So yeah, the mom energy conversation, healing thing could have already happened, or it's currently happening. Maybe you're thinking about it again. And again, we talked about in the beginning, if you listen to it, and if not, I suggest you do. In the beginning of the reading, we talked a little bit about the actual energy of the full moon in Gemini is conjunct Chiron in Aries. So dealing with those wounds, okay? And so this may just manifest with like that mother, mother energy for you, okay? Let's see, what else can we pull for you? Okay, how about got the beaver, okay? I kind of want to look in the book for this one, but initially what's coming to me is that like try not to be so busy fixing everybody else's problems. Try not to be so busy with everybody else but yourself. So really recommitting to yourself, paying back attention to yourself. It kind of feels like an earth sign reading, except I felt like earth sign was kind of more in that moment, and then the water signs, I felt like it's kind of always like this for you. You're always helping other people, doing for other people, and that's great and fine, but this feels like a period for everybody, right? We're in winter, at least in the northern hemisphere here, where it's about going within, taking care of yourself, getting quiet, and so there's that real call for that for this pile too. Okay, you're very loyal, you put everybody else first, okay, you put your family first, and that's great, but you really need to balance it out, okay? Yeah, okay, so you might be, I feel like, yeah, the task at hand for you as the beaver image is coming up is that you have been doing this healing, you're really doing the hard work, you're moving through it, but also you're not useless if you're not. It's okay to take breaks from this deep healing. Okay, self-care cards for the water element. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Sync with the moon. Love it, okay? I'm hearing like spending more time in moonlight, understanding like the moon symbol, like signs, and when it switches and what it means for you when it switches signs. You also got connect with crystals, beautiful. So maybe doing a crystal grid, maybe working with crystals that have been under moonlight, okay, charged under full moons. That could be really cool. It feels like you might be really called to working with them, and it might be powerful for you to carry them around, hold them while you're working, things like that. Okay, I'm hearing that that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Happy full moon in Gemini. I hope it goes smoothly and wonderful for you. I have personal readings available if you want something more personal, astrology or oracle. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.